Matrimonial consent. Canon 1057, paragraph 1 of the Latin Code speaks of consent of the spouses in marriage. It says that a marriage is brought into being by the lawfully manifested consent of persons who are legally capable. This consent cannot be supplied by any human power. The paragraph 2 of the same canon speaks of the object and purpose of this consent of the spouses in marriage. It says that matrimonial consent is an act of will by which a man and a woman by an irrevocable covenant mutually give and accept one another for the purpose of establishing a marriage. Marriage attains its fullness by exchange of mutual consent and consummation. Without mutual consent of the couples, there is no marriage. It is consent which makes or constitutes a marriage. Exchange of consent must be a human and personal act. It is the free and deliberate consent of a man and a woman that constitute a marriage. From the point of view of natural law, it is sufficient that consent can be manifested in any form desired by the couple. But marriage as a social institution comes under both the civil and ecclesiastical jurisdiction, and both have laid down norms and guidelines to be observed in exchanging the marital consent. Otherwise, the marriage would be invalid. The Code clearly says that only legally capable persons can give consent. According to Canon 1058, every person has the right to marry, but considering the sanctity of the marriage and the common good of the community, the legislator gives certain norms and regulations to regulate the exercise of this right, whereby certain restrictions are imposed on certain persons under certain circumstances, which we call impediments and ecclesiastical prohibitions. For example, the persons affected by impotence, lack of sufficient use of reason, etc. cannot validly consent. Apart from it, the very nature of marriage itself requires certain conditions and qualities in the persons. The object of the consent is the mutual giving and acceptance of the spouses as persons to constitute a marriage as defined in Canon 1055, paragraph 1. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Canon Law Explained, for more similar videos.